Welcome to another GCOG Gauntlet Community Open Gaming event. Yay! And so we're part of the Gauntlet community and following their code of conduct for this gaming event. We will be playing Raging Grannies this morning by Alicia Furness. All right, so I'm just going to go through a quick cats of the game, like a concept, aim, tone, and subject matter, and then we'll go ahead and introduce our players. Okay. So, concept for this game is, as per the designer's description, Raging Grannies is a game of fantasy fighting grandmas, ridding the world of evil between tea and bridge. The aim for the characters is to use the wisdom of age and a lifetime of experience to rid the world of monsters, usually human, and ageism, also usually from humans. And in the case of this one shot, figure out what the hell is going on and resolve the problem at hand. All right. Tone, I can say it probably can go anywhere between Conan the Barbarian and Two Men in Tights. I hope for a relatively happy medium between the two. I appreciate characters living in the world that they inhabit, but not really into, pardon, gritty, grimdark, or all-out anachronist play or humor. Okay. And so, depending on the tone set, that will determine the subject matter that we include. There may be some subjects sensitive to folks. Given our safety tools, which we will be using, we will do our best to avoid triggering subjects. The safety tools that we will be using today will be the X card. So if there's something distinctly unfun or objectionable to you, then go ahead and make an X in the video with an arm signal, or do it in the chat, in the Zoom chat. And if I don't happen to be looking at the screen at the time, please make sure somebody call it out to me. So this way we can stop play. Just ask what is X carded, and then we will take that out and then resume. We will not ask you why, okay? And then we will also have the open door policy. So for any reason, again, if you need to go, just say using the open door, and then just let us know if you're going to be coming back after the scene or to the game back at all. Just want to make sure that we're not too worried about, what you need to do, okay? And we won't ask you why, again. And then finally, lines and veils. We do have a safety tab in our character keeper, which has subjects that will not mention because they've been denoted as a line, so not mentioned or included in the game at all. And then there are subjects that will be veiled. So those are things that we will not fully out roleplay or fade to black or just mention. So this way it's like, again, if it happens to be a triggering subject in any way or uncomfortable, then we will just like kind of gloss over it. Okay. All right. So let me see. Yeah. And so that's cats for me. I'm Mads. Madelancholy is my gaming handle, and I go by she, they pronouns, and I have done tabletop roleplay for quite a while, won't say how long, but into online play for the past couple of years or so, and I really love creating characters and enjoying roleplay. So, I mean, I appreciate that with other people as well. So, I mean, like, it's always fun to see like what people come up with at the gaming table. I do have a tiny podcast, Stories from Chaos Edge, and I also have a YouTube channel that has some APs on it, whether one shots or like, tiny series. But, again, really love to be at the table with other people creating characters. All right. So let's go on to, pardon, Kavya.
My name's Kavya. I use she, her pronouns. I joined Gauntlet like this summer, so I'm playing online with people for a little while. I'd say my favorite part of this is, well, there's obviously the aspect of making creative stories with other people, but there's also the aspect of driving a story towards insanity, which is always a win in my book, so I look forward to it.
Chaos Agent Ahoy. I got it. All right. Let's go over to Gareth.
Hi, I'm Gareth. My pronouns are he, him. I've been playing with the Gauntlet for over a year now, which is pretty mind-blowing. Played tons of great games. I realized this game I've actually played, I think, with everybody here, which is awesome. It's like I feel like I'm starting to be a proper member of Gauntlet, and getting to know people and stuff. As I met Kavya in the Agon game I ran on Thursday, and Rod, I played in my first game. So yeah, it's great to see you all again, and I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, and then let's go to Rod.
Hi, I'm Rod, he, him. Yeah, I've been with the Gauntlet the same amount of time as Gareth has. Just a little over a year, I guess. I have played this game with you before, Mads, and I'm looking forward to playing it again with new faces as well as familiar faces. Yeah, that's it. Happy to be here.
And last but not least, Kass.
Oh, hi. I'm Kass, he, him pronouns. I've been with the Gauntlet for a while, but before that, for years, I've been a big fan of teaching new players RPGs and welcoming folks to the hobby. So it's great to be here, to be learning something new myself.
All right, well, welcome to the table. And, I mean, that's awesome, like with all of your experience with Gauntlet play. So everybody at this table is familiar with what we follow for safety, especially, which I'm very appreciative of in this tabletop role-playing culture. All right, so on to the game. I think everybody has completed character creation for the most part. Let me just double check real quick just to make sure everything is filled in. Fabulous. Okay, so there are places here for the characters to fill in relationships. So they have two questions that they can ask, one of another player each, and then there's a space for equipment and notes. And I just want to just make known, it's like, within reason, you just like throw something into your backpack or your bag or whatever, and then you'll have it. If you have a comically large sword, then you will have that sword as your equipment. So I'm not gonna be all like, okay, well, what's your encumbrance level and all that kind of stuff. It's like, I don't believe in that crap myself. Let's see. Although I know there are games that are based around encumbrance, so it's hilarious to see what people make of that. Let's go ahead and go in the reverse direction of the player introductions, and let's have our characters introduce. Let's have our players introduce their characters. Go ahead and mention their name, pronouns, the career, the fighting style, and the hidden talent. Okay. Which I will mention to Rod. I'm so sorry. I mean, like, for whatever reason, I completely glossed over. There's a significance to having the hidden talent. I'm like, how the hell did I miss this? I missed it. I'm sorry. So we'll include it in this playthrough of this game. My goodness. All right. So let's have Kass start us off and introduce us to Hilda.
Sure. So I'm playing Hilda, she, her pronouns. Hilda is a retired town guard. When she gets into a scrap, she fights with her fists and forehead, very physical. And she has a hidden talent for growing strange plants.
Nice. All right. And let's go on to Rod. What's Adela like?
Bella is a hunter. She's very at home in the woods. Her fighting style is hide and shoot. Not because she's cowardly or anything like that. Just makes more sense to fight from a distance than get up and where you can be heard. That's ridiculous. Her hidden talent is tiny monster rescue, because eventually, hanging out in the forest, you run into little monsters that get lost sometimes. So you gotta help.
Nice. All right, and let's go on to Gareth. How about Matilda?
Yeah, so Matilda, she, her pronouns. I have chosen the knight as her career, and comically large weapons, because I feel like those two go hand in hand. And her hidden talent is for knitting ugly sweaters, which I'm sure will come in handy at some point.
Absolutely, for sure. And again, it's like if you have like knitting needles that you need to throw into your pack, just because it's like, you're called to duty. Dang it. It's like, you just got to throw that sweater in there, because you didn't finish it, but maybe you'll get a chance on the road. You don't know. All right. And then last but not least, let's go to see about Kavya. What's Dulce like?
I think it's Dulce. I never looked it up, even though I should have. But my character's name is Dulce Davalos. She, her pronouns. She was a mercenary, and her fighting style is that she has a weapon for every occasion, just to give me the chance to pull the randomest shit out of my bag and claim it's a weapon. And her hidden talent is baking unusual pies.
Fabulous. Okay. Excuse me. So now that we've had like an introduction to all the characters, let's go back and then look at relationships. So each of you have the opportunity to pick out 2 questions from the drop downs, and then you would ask these questions, like 1 question to a different character each. Okay. So whoever wants to start, because I see that nobody's picked out any questions. So I mean, I'm just glad to go around again and then just have people figure out who they want to ask their questions of. All right. If you need a minute.
So like if I want to ask this question to somebody else, do they pick that in their keeper, or do I put that in mine, or
No,
how does
well,
that-
I mean, basically it's like, you're asking these questions as your granny, and then
Okay.
you would pick whom you're going to ask. Like you would put into the blank space. It's like, okay, who you're asking, and then put down their answer. Yep. So yeah, somebody else would let me see. Yeah, that's a good question. Now that I'm looking at it, it's like, which one have you known the longest, and how did you meet? I'll leave it up to you guys. It's like, would you like to just pick the granny and have them answer the question, or would you like to usually, like for stuff like this, it's like, I think it's like whomever you pick is the one that's answering the question. I think that's what I mean, like who's providing the narrative for what happened.
Yeah, like I think
Let's
it's
do
more,
that.
more interesting that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, okay, now I know. Great. So whoever wants to ask first, that's fine.
But I think I'm probably overthinking it. I feel like if I could ask, let's say I ask Rod's character, which granny in the group have you known the longest, and how did you meet? If I write that answer in my column, that doesn't make sense now because it belongs to Rod's character Adela.
Well, basically, you're asking it of Adela, and you would just like write down Adela's answer in your column, so that's way
column.
you're aware of like what your relationship is.
But it might not involve me.
Huh?
I'm gonna let someone else go, and I'm gonna be quiet. And I'll learn by observing. Sorry.
No,
Who would
goddamn it! Now I'm confused too.
Okay, so all right, let's give an example. All right, so Dulce, which granny in the group have you known the longest, and how did you meet? So pick one, and then listen to their answer and write it in your column.
Wonderful. Okay. Hilda, which granny have you known the longest, and how did you meet?
Ooh, I have known Matilda the longest. I think because of our shared sort of like official nature of our jobs. And we met at a feast held by the local lord or lady who owns the town.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe that was a little bit confusing. Sorry. Okay, so if it's in your okay. Dulce, you are picking the person that you've known the longest, but you're listening to their answer to put in your column. That's okay. That's okay. We're getting the hang of this. We're getting the hang of this. It's like, to me, it's like, it's kind of like obvious, but it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So,
I apologize.
So basically, it's a two-part thing where you, the player, are saying, this is the granny that I've known the longest, and you're asking that granny, how did we meet?
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Easy AB.
Oops.
Yep. So, I mean, like, if you like that, if you like that answer, I don't know. Okay, now I'm getting confused. People.
No,
This
we
is
got
great.
it.
This is great. This is great. Okay. This may be the thing that gets edited out when I finally do this video.
Oh, God.
I've never run into this problem before. It's hilarious. It's like, Rod, did we do this the last time? I don't think so. It's weird.
Well, it was just 2 players,
was
so it was
just 2
very easy.
Now I know why.
Okay,
Right,
so
okay.
Kavya, do you want to have Dulce know Hilda the longest, or do you want to ask that to
No,
somebody
let's
else?
just go for it.
Okay.
So
Let's just go
Matilda
for
is
it.
whom you know. The longest.
Got it.
That's great. Okay. So, like we'll flip over to Matilda now. Okay. If
Okay.
that's who you're going with, right? Right, Dulce?
So Dulce has known Matilda the longest?
No.
Matilda
I'm
the
like I'm
longest.
just
Or,
okay. Well, okay, that's what I'm asking. It's like, okay, so Dulce, who have you known the longest? Hilda or Matilda? Oh my gosh, it rhymes. This is half the fun. I really do think so. It's great. No, it's wonderful. Okay.
Well, first of all, I looked it up and it's Dulce, so all of us were wrong.
Okay.
Second of all, I think I would rather know Hilda the longest because her column is next to mine. And
Okay.
it's very easy to look at.
Okay, awesome. Okay,
then
so
just,
in
yeah,
that
take
case,
Matilda's name out of it.
yeah. So, all right. So you're a mercenary. I'm the town guard. So we've known each other the longest because you have gotten into a few scraps around town, and I've had to sort that stuff out.
I love it.
Okay. All right. Now, Hilda, it's your turn to ask a question of one of the grannies.
Okay. So, Matilda, you made a faux pas that I cannot let go of. What was it?
oh man. Okay. So the guard, and I'm the knight, and the faux
If you need a little help, it's like, think about it. It's like the knight and the guard. It's like, oh, town guard. What? What would you be snobby about?
I think it's like, yeah, I'm kind of thinking it's kind of a snobby kind of thing. I'm just trying to work out if it should be a career thing or something personal, but I don't have a lot to go on at the moment. So I'm just thinking, I'm definitely thinking it's that, like, I think that like Matilda probably is dismissive of Hilda being just a guard and doesn't, so but a specific incident, she didn't invite her to something, like, so she left her off the guest list for, like, I don't know, her wedding or something. Let's go.
Oh, that's cold. That cold. Oh, she never lets you forget it. Oh shit.
Like,
okay.
Yeah. Even though they've known each other quite a long time, I think it's
All
like
right.
obviously more of a colleague relationship for Matilda, I guess.
Okay.
Oof.
All right, let's go over to Matilda asking a question now. So Matilda,
Okay.
which of these grannies is the habit most annoying to you, and what is it? Or actually, like
right.
that like whomever you pick is going to answer. What's that habit that bothers Matilda so much?
So I'm gonna pick Adela and give Rod a go. So Adela does some habit that I find incredibly annoying. What is it?
Oh, let's see. I think what's annoying? I'm always like not intentionally, but sneaking up on people so that when they turn around, it's like, oh my God, where'd you come from? So
Yeah,
so I startle people, I think, somehow.
So good. That is your Batman. Oh, let's circle back to Dulce. So which of these grannies did something for the village that you admire her for it? And then, of course, that granny would answer what she did that maybe you did let her know that you found endearing.
I think Adela's done something for the village that I admire her for. What did she do, Rod?
Oh, I think there was a monster attacking the village, and is it a town? A village? The town, the settlement, the village, and then she figured out that she had it was actually a mom monster, and Adela had found the baby in the forest, and the mom was just attacking because it was looking for its baby. So once they were reunited, the monster left.
I love that, the momster.
Monster.
All right. Okay. So Adela, what? Okay, and then so again, it's like you would pick whom you admire out of this granny group.
Okay. Oh, I don't think I got that one. My first question answered.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
I thought you did. Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, Gareth
Sorry.
asked the.
Okay.
Right. Which
Oh, we
granny
did
has
the same one. Yeah.
We did. Yeah, we picked the same one. Which granny has the habit most annoying to you, and what is it? I think the
If I was playing, it would be forgetfulness for me. Sorry.
I think Dulce does. Dulce does something that annoys Adela, but I don't know what it is.
I think Dulce has this habit of, well, she has a weapon for every occasion. And unfortunately, that sometimes means that she just has weapons lying around. And so sometimes in these pies she bakes that she does give to others, when you're cutting through them, you occasionally find darts or a dagger or other miscellaneous weapons. No one's eaten one yet, but it's a close thing.
I need to see this come back somehow. I don't know how. I need to see this come back because this is just too damn funny.
It's the
So,
food
yes.
equivalent of a Trojan horse. It's gonna come back.
Or like what's that that tradition, like some people go down to the bottom of a plate and then they see a prize or something like that. It's like that kind of thing except in pie form, so that's something that's got to come back anyway.
Awesome.
All right, so basically Dulce's already had her 2 questions answered, so let's just go to Hilda. Yeah.
Ooh, all right. So which granny has the habit most endearing to me? Let's give Dulce a chance to have something nice too. Dulce, what's the thing that endears you to Hilda big time?
Well, when her pies don't contain unusual weaponry, they do contain very, very unusual positive flavors. To the point that you wonder if she sold her soul to something or the other for him. She didn't.
Nice.
It's just a bunch of family recipes she's perfected.
Awesome. So I just absolutely adore your interesting flavor palette.
It's like, what's in that I taste chili and rhubarb. What's that? What? Okay.
Oh, I found this strange plant.
Surprise pie. Great. Okay, Matilda. Which of these grannies has the habit most
I have the
endearing
same
to you?
question, and I was going to pick Dulce as well, and I'm not going to now because that'll be too repetitive. So it'd be a bit. I guess I'll pick Hilda. So Hilda has a habit that I find endearing. What is it?
Oh, if only you'd thought of that when sending out wedding invites.
I know.
Let's see.
But you know what? Maybe, and you can have a discussion about this later. Maybe somebody just forgot. They thought they had you there, and it's like you said you just couldn't come. I don't know. Anyway, drama.
Let's see. Hilda. Hilda has a habit of always having something soothing in her pack to share with people when they're having a rough time.
And I'm perfectly happy if you want to pull something fun out of that Gareth, and like, it's like you want to say, it's like eventually like you have a bag of holding or something like that. That's why you can do this. So that's just a thought. And then
Yeah, it's
finally,
kind of a blank check, isn't it? I like it.
kinda, yeah. I mean, like within reason. Like I'm not saying that you can port like a whole bedroom, like, in your bag. No, I'm not saying that at all.
She already has unusually large weapons. It's a logical conclusion.
Hey, that totally works. There you go. All right. So, Adela, your last question. What do which granny of these did something for the village that you admire her for?
I think it was Matilda.
Okay. So, Matilda, what did you do that impressed Adela?
Some kind of knightly thing, some kind of deed, I feel like. So is this kind of like fantasy dragons, and what kind of world are we in here? Is this like, could I have slain a dragon? Is that too big, or did I go like, what sort of scale of great deed shall I be going
Well, let me
for
ask
here?
you something. It's like, given the tiny monster rescue, do you think slaying the dragon would be the best thing? I don't
Tiny
know.
monster rescue.
What about the knitting sweaters aspect?
Ooh.
Did you knit a dragon an ugly sweater?
Oh, that would be so cool. But you don't have to. You don't have to, Gareth.
I don't know if the village would admire you for making an ugly sweater for a dragon.
I don't know.
It just seems.
The scope of it, though. The scope of it. Oh, wait. No. I got it. If you want to do this. Maybe. When Adela rescued some of these little monsters, you did make them the cutest little sweaters. Maybe? I don't care. You don't have to.
Wow. I don't know. I feel like that's all about Adela then, really. And I'm just making this worse. I feel like Matilda has done something.
True.
Like, anyway, yeah. I guess it's like the tone. It's like, are we going for? It's not serious. It's comical. It's like. One thing that the village admires her for. Well, I think maybe she stood up for the village against like the Lord in something, maybe, and so she kind of had their back, and the Lord was doing maybe something unreasonable, like, I don't know, what did lords do, taxes or some crazy law, and Matilda kind of talked him out of it in a way that was not, managed to smooth the situation over and had the villagers back and made the problem go away, I think.
Cool.
So she's kind of looking out for the villagers' interests, even though she is like a knight and kind of spends a lot of time hanging out with the the lords or whatever, lords and ladies of the realm.
You're part of the system, but you maybe don't suck.
So I'm working from within to. Also, the wedding, it was a very small ceremony. So it's just like, it's intimate. So.
Oh my God. This is great. Okay. So, no, it's a little too early. I don't want to go into it just yet. Okay. So let's see. All right. So we answered all of the things. All right. And then, okay. So. All right. So the way this game works is you have your stats, and we're just going to go ahead and look at the stats. The stats are guts, which are how brave and strong you are, stories, which is how knowledgeable and personable you are, hustle, how quick you are on your feet or with your words, and grit, how much you can take. All right. And the players would be assigning the following numbers to each of the stats, either a -1, a 0, a 1, or a 2. So this determines what they're kind of good at, even within their particular career or fighting style or hidden talent even. So one of the things that we would do is it's not quite PBTA because there's not a lot of moves or whatever, and then there's It's just 1d6. That's all we're rolling. I mean, like, maybe I'll include an extra die depending on if there's something special going on, but that's not a mechanic in this game. It's strictly like 1d6 for the most part. So it's 5 or 6, you succeed. On a 3 to 4, you can fail or ask to succeed at a cost, which would be my fun. On 1 to 2, a complication arises and you take a personal slight. So, Rod, this is one of the things that I forgot to include in the last game. So 1 to 2, a complication arises and you take a personal slight. Mark 1 personal slight somewhere. I didn't account for it in the character keeper, so keep track of it somewhere. And then you're going to narrate the complication. All right. When you have accumulated 5 personal slights, reduce 1 stat by -1. So there you go. That's a mechanic in this game, which I totally glossed over. Maybe we ran out of time. I don't know. It's like confirmed denial. Shh. Anyway, so we're going to set this up. But before we do, let me see. Hold on a second. You all know each other because obviously you're admiring of each other, or somebody's pissed you off, or something's really annoying to you, however that goes. But I'm going to say that once a week, at least once a week, all of you get together at the local tavern. Let's start with the life and village and the NPCs, okay? So let's do some establishing of the world as a group. What is the name of your village, all right? Or do you want to answer the question, what makes your village great to stop in for adventurers and travelers alike? And then answer the question, what's the name? All right, so we can do it either way. So I would say for what makes your village great, it's a kind of a paint the scene. So each of you narrate one detail about the village.
Just like looking at the variety of skills that we have for our grannies, I think that we have a bustling trade community. There are lots of like little skilled artisans.
What else?
Yes, I think probably like its location. I think it's located somewhere that's kind of like a frontier, but it's still on a major road between 2 or 3 kingdoms or something. So it's like a trade hub. But because it's kind of frontier, like there's also unclaimed lands that are great for adventuring. And so it's kind of a great, that's what makes it great for traveling and adventuring.
I think a bunch of the tiny monsters that Adela rescues have kind of settled in our village, and they just kind of vibe with us like stray cats, but better and cuter. Some of them have those little knitted sweaters, maybe. And it's just a very nice, soothing environment to just relax in. Adventurers and travelers probably appreciate that.
Adela?
All right, so we're trying to figure out what makes the village great to stop in for adventurers and travelers alike. I think there's
a sign up saying, "Please do not feed manticores." Town game warden. I don't know about like being big enough for that. Maybe baby manticore. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, go. Sorry, Adela.
No, that's fine. I think there was there are the ruins of an ancient city not that far from us, which adventurers love exploring ruins. We have a gift shop outside it as well.
It's like an awesome Megadungeon just nearby. Yeah, come for the Megadungeon, but stay for the cute creatures.
Oh, this is killing me. Somebody put that that branding in the world building somewhere, because I know I'm gonna forget. Holy crap, that's so funny. Let me see what else. So what's the name of your village? Just picking some stuff out. With that tagline. That has an amazing freaking tagline. I love it. Oh, God. You cannot name it Megadungeon. No.
I was gonna say if we've got like a frontier town with a big dungeon nearby, it sounds like just the town of Westmarch.
Oh. That's not
Sounds
make
about
obvious.
right.
Or like, go the other way. Like, hold on. East Amble, I don't know.
Oh, I love that. East Amble's too. That leans right into the cute vibe. That's great.
Go for it. East Amble. Okay. So the 3 questions that I have, I don't know if you're like following along on the tab, but the Life, the Village, and NPCs tab that I've created has 3 questions along the right side, which can be considered like, in-game or, like now if you want to just kind of like have a base for things. So the questions that I posed are, how does being a badass old lady impact a fantasy society? What struggles do these grannies have? And how do they navigate intersections of violence and grandma-ness? Okay, so kind of think on those for a little bit. I don't know if you want to answer, like kind of like put something in there now, each person as a narrative, or if you want to kind of answer those questions in play. I leave it up to you. I mean, so if you want to mention something now, fantastic. If you want to just throw something in there as you play along, that is fine too. Okay. And we don't have to answer them in order. So I mean, like if you already have an answer for what struggles do these grannies have, it's like, that's fine.
I think in Hilda's case, as far as navigating the intersections of violence and grandma-ness, like as a town guard, her job sort of implied violence as a tool. And the reason that she's leaned into like having soothing treats and just having a garden and growing strange plants and stuff is to sort of reconcile with her creative and positive energy after a life of roughing people up.
Love it. Totally love it. Yeah, go ahead and put that into the box. Sounds cool. And you each can like throw in an answer for this. So don't feel like, I missed my chance to make an answer. Please just throw in like what you got and then like let us know.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like part of a knight's role is there's like the family side of things and like fighting and being martial and training children up to be soldiers in a way is kind of what being a knight is all about. And so I feel like it's kind of like almost an ideal calling for ass kicking grandma, I think.
I like that. I do like that. This isn't a question in here, but given the setup that I will have, which of you, if not all of you, have grandchildren?
Yeah, Hilda's definitely a proper grandmother.
Okay. Okay, so that's going to be a list for me. So Hilda, who else? You don't have to, like I said. I mean, like I just need at least one grandchild.
I think Matilda does as well. Like the whole, I think it's sort of like almost a duty. Like raising a family is like another duty, right? So I think she's quite a serious person, I'm feeling.
You may want to put that in the notes because I mean that may affect like how you react to things for later on. So yeah, just kind of like make a note of that in your character column. Yeah,
I love that juxtaposition. We've got Hilda who's like, oh, I want to create and be positive, and Matilda who's just like, yeah, that's my job.
Make younglings and train them to fight.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Dulce, Adela, do either of you have grandchildren? No. Okay.
No, my
I think Dulce
children are my
doesn't.
monsters.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Okay.
I'm more the type to, adopt any random passerby temporarily.
Oh, okay. So you're the grandmotherly type, but you wouldn't necessarily do it have yourself. Okay, no, that's fine. That's cool. All right. So now I'm going to assume because okay, so I don't know if this is mentioned anywhere or what have you. I remember seeing it specifically on a tweet, I think. But Alicia had said when she made this game, it was to transition her D&D group over to Brindlewood Bay to get them used to being grandmas or elderly women. So that is like kind of like the basis for doing this. Why we're kind of working in a stat-based game rather than, but also like much less stats than you would in a D&D game, which is great. That's how I play. So let's see. Okay, and then yeah, I mean, if you want to think about the questions, that's fine. So
I'm sorry. I have a thought for the what struggle. No, I'm sorry. The first one.
Okay.
Something about the fan. Oh yeah, how does being a bad? I think there's enough of us now that there has a group of young adventurers has arisen, and they're complaining, and they want us to retire because we are filling a niche that they feel they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, like we've reached name level now. We're supposed to stand aside and like build a castle or something. Yeah.
Right. So there's a
Sure, I love
movement
that.
oh my gosh.
of young people, young adventurers against us.
Like Rod, you're good at naming things, so like put that into the box. But I want you to figure out a name for this group.
Okay.
Are they the group? Are they the adventurers themselves, or are they the groupies of the adventurers? You know what I'm saying? It's like like they can't necessarily like tout themselves because that seems like so uncool. But I mean, like if they have a bunch of groupies doing it, then like that makes more sense. Just a thought. So think about it. I did put some people in the, just so you know, I did put some people in the NPCs list, but I mean, I don't know how they are yet. I just like the names, so I'm like, I just put them in there just for funsies. If you want to use one of those names, you can't use Prince Humberfink though. I mean, that's mine. So, but everybody, like anybody else that I throw in there, like please feel free and like add some notes. Oops, I'm gonna add somebody else in here too. Okay, and if we're not going to answer any more of the right-hand questions, I want to look at what does your weekly meeting look like? Because I mean, like maybe you two get, maybe you guys get together in duos or trios, but not all together except for the weekly meeting. So what does it look like? Is it at the tavern? Do you guys like, spar or practice somewhere? Like, what does the weekly meeting look like for you guys?
I mean, there's got to be some sort of like potluck element, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like Dulce's bringing pies. I'm making a salad or roast out of some of my weird plants.
If it's all right with you, Hilda, may I add that we're probably neighbors, so I'm always coming around to like borrow a strange plant to bake.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, as long as I get a slice, you're welcome to use my garden.
Always. I'll do my best to make sure there's nothing else in there, but always.
To be clear, I want a slice of the pie, not my mouth sliced up.
I'll do my best.
It's like the Cracker Jack prizes you didn't want. But anyway, go ahead. Matilda, Adela, any detail about the weekly meeting? Yeah, and again, like one of the things that could be, like if you're trying to think of locations, the tavern, like a field somewhere if you're going to practice, or it could be at like one of your houses, like you do the rotation, like somebody visits and da da da. So that's also a possibility as well.
I think we have like kind of an informal contest of who can bring the juiciest gossip that's happening in the town.
Nice. I like that. Holy crap. Oh my. Okay.
Maybe there's like there's a, I guess like a village hall or somewhere that's like it's a multi-purpose room, and so like when we turn up for our meeting, there's some people there before us that won't get out or something, and it's always like it's like we gotta try and encourage them to leave. I don't know, like there's some sport or something, or I don't know, some the kids are in there doing like whatever it is that people practice
This
in this fantasy medieval times thing.
No, this is why the young adventurers don't like us. It's because they book that area for practice before our weekly meetings, and we're always trying to get them out.
Yeah.
Where to hold this meeting?
Maybe the I was thinking the tavern, or like I'm trying to think of like the equivalent of sort of a mead hall where you have a big communal area where you might have like the local weddings and stuff.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's just like the village
In
hall,
the-
right?
Yeah, village hall.
Oh,
There you go.
It's like
Okay,
a
yeah,
big
yeah.
space that you can use for different things.
Yeah.
Okay, so multi-purpose room, village hall. I'm gonna put that there. All right. Weekly tea, time for elderly adventures. Love it. Is that the name of your group, or is that?
No, I'm still coming up with a name.
Okay, but I mean, like
Yeah.
that's the occasion. I like it. Just trying. There was something that sparked something in the village hall idea that like I'd now just totally forgotten. It's gonna piss me off because I'm gonna be like, wait, that was a great detail. Shit. Okay, young adventures. All right, so we are coming up on the hour. So I mean, like it makes sense to kind of make a stopping point here. So this way there's time for you to refresh your beverage, and then also for me to just kind of take a little look-see and then just make sure that I think I'm going to do what I'm going to do, because you guys have given me so much awesome detail. I'm like, no, I don't know, because it's just too damn cool. Shit. All right. Fabulous. Okay. Yeah, let's take a 10-minute break. I mean, yeah, a little bit past the hour, so like at the 3 mark, according to my watch. Yeah, good enough. All right, so I will see you at the 3 mark, and then, yeah, get rested up, because you guys are going to go deal with what you're going to deal with. All right, so
All right.
see you in a bit. All right, we're back. All right. So, I think that you are on your way with your pies, your plant salad, whatever you want to bring to this potluck. And then Matilda and Adela are there as well, bringing along the rear. And of course, in the multi-purpose room of the village hall, the young adventurers there, the trio of 3 young adventurers are there in their practice, not heeding that it is your time, your appointed time to be here, as it is every week. And they're in the middle of like, posing but practicing. Maybe one of them's doing the superhero kneel, the other one, like, maybe the other 2 are like, deep in a clash where they're tightening their biceps and what have you. And then they all look up as you 4 enter, and the biggest and the beefiest of them all. It's like, let's give him a name. Tyrone. Let's call him Tyrone. Tyrone, like, gets up from his superhero kneel and just kind of struts over to you 4 and says, Is it time for weekly tea? Time for elderly adventures again? Hmm? This is a young kid to you guys. I mean, like, maybe, like, late teens, early 20s. And he's got, like, the buff armor. He's got, like, the gleaming sword, which may or may not have seen any action. Who the hell knows? But anyway, yeah. So he's, like, strutting up to you. And then the other two, like, one of them's kind of like a roguish, wiry-looking fella. And then the other one is a woman, woman, who kind of gives you like this sneery look on her face. I'm not sure if you know their names. If you come up with names, great, but I don't know if you know their names.
Quentin Corliss the Fifth.
What? Quentin? What?
Quentin.
Write that in the
Quentin.
thing. Write that in the NPCs thing. I got to see it to believe it. And then I'm assuming that's the roguish. Is that okay? Yeah. God. And then the girl or whatever. So yeah, please do. Anyway, so yeah, who's in front? Who's in front of your group?
I feel like maybe Matilda is. I don't know. She sort of thinks she's in charge, probably. So
Nice.
Yeah,
she's
so
not, but she thinks she is. Like,
Well, it's fine. Well, you're kind of official. You're kind of a big deal,
yeah,
So I mean, like, of course, Tyrone is like, strutting up to you and is like, yeah. So, what do you do here, ladies?
So I think she just says, "Move along, Sonny. The grown-ups are here now. Playtime's over."
Playtime. Ugh. Well, I mean, we've worked up quite the sweat. I mean, we should go. And then, like, kind of like nods to his companions and says, "We should go and get massaged up before the next adventure. All right. So, have fun at your." And then he's staring like disdainfully at the food that you brought. Have fun at your veggie party, I suppose. And they kind of push past you.
Before the last one leaves,
Mhm.
can I just kind of flag them down and be like, I know how much of how tired you must be after all those all that carousing. I baked an extra pie for you guys here.
I think it's the girl. She's still got that sneery look on her face, like as if like she smelled something bad, but she can't remove it because that's her way. Oh, okay, I guess. Oh goodness. Thank you. That is the
You're
polite thing
welcome.
to do, she says to her companions as they go out, and she takes the pie. Does this have some surprise in it?
I was just about to type into chat who wants to guess what the thing in there is.
Anyway, if it comes up later, then it's like, yeah, I'll let you know.
If we hear screams,
Yeah,
or something.
exactly. We hear scream.
Yeah.
That's great. So you get set up, and then yeah. So I mean, I don't know if you open up with this or if you end with this, but I mean, like part of your weekly meeting is the contest of the juiciest gossip in town. So, what does each one of you have for the gossip? Mind you, you have the Megadungeon nearby, and then there's also a fairgrounds that have kind of like sprung up near there as well. Because I mean, hey, you guys got the best travelers and adventurers coming round, so why the hell not, right? Set up some fairgrounds for the wares of the community. Possibly some rides, but I'm not going to take any bets on that. Maybe even a petting zoo for some of the creatures, not the babies of the creatures, but like maybe like creatures that already come small anyway, and are okay with being pet by humans.
Girls, you will never believe this. My grandson Magnus says that Game Warden Tuttle has been keeping a whole grown manticore in his basement as a pet.
Shame. And after all those signs he puts up. What a softie. Well, I heard that our dear Quentin Querulus V. I was in the tavern the other day and I overheard a conversation a few tables away. It's not like I was eavesdropping, I would never. Apparently, he's been offered an apprenticeship under one of our, well, older rogues. I would say famous, but that's not how you live. And he hasn't told his compatriots yet. I wonder what they'll make of that.
I don't know if you remember last year when the baker's son got the blacksmith's daughter in a family way, and she, unfortunately for her, made a deal with this magical gnome to get her baby. Well, I heard that the gnome came back last week to return the baby. It turns out he wasn't made out to be a father. So, kids were too much for him, and he wants to return the baby back. But who knows what's going to happen?
Okay, so Gareth has failed to invent any gossip. So I'm going to just say that Matilda doesn't have any gossip, but so therefore she covers by just being disapproving of all the gossip. So she's like, oh, ladies, we shouldn't engage in this kind of gossip. It's not proper. It's not becoming of a world-renowned group of adventurers such as ourselves. But she's definitely listening.
Why, you were the one who thought of this tradition.
Okay.
Oh, leave her alone, Dulce. I'm sure she just forgot to come up with some gossip.
Tradition means nothing anymore.
Yeah, the affairs of the what's it called? It's like a smaller than a kingdom, whatever we're in. I've blown it. Forget it. The affairs of the court take up a lot of time. You wouldn't understand.
Matilda, what is the name of your grandchild? Is it son, daughter? Oh, did we lose Gareth? Oh no.
No.
Oh, there we go.
I can hear you. Everyone froze, so I felt like maybe I'd frozen.
You'd
You have,
frozen.
yeah.
You'd frozen for us.
Right.
Did you hear what I had asked? Oh no, it's like you're fuzzing out again. Oh, okay.
It's happening again.
Yes.
The name of my grandchild.
Mm-hmm. Name of your
I
grandchild.
don't know if you can hear me though.
We can hear
working
you.
Again?
Yes.
It's working.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I guess there's probably several. But I feel like maybe the eldest is like the one that's gonna be potentially the future head of the family. So let's say that's what's a name that I can like Ambrose. That's like a silly like lordly name. I apologize if anyone knows an Ambrose and that's not true, but I feel like Ambrose is a good name anyway.
All right. And I'm gonna say that your Hilda, your grandson Magnus, and Matilda, your grandson Ambrose are of like around the same age. I mean, they probably have hung out together, especially because their grannies are friends, companions, and just kind of like seem to be okay with each other. But anyway, like in the middle of this this contest, and you maybe get grabbing some food or whatever to get ready to warm up and then like practice. In bursts the two grandsons, but they're wrapped up in cloaks, which is kind of weird for this time of year, because it's like the morning time and it's kind of like a sunny spring day and kind of warm for these cloaks. But anyway, you see the double doors burst open, and then you only know because each of you, your grandsons, do something very distinctive with their shoes. We don't know why. It's just like maybe a branding thing. Who the hell knows? Hilda, what does Magnus like to wear that's distinctive in footwear?
While he was out a Viking one time, got a lovely pair of sharkskin boots that he keeps polished to a shine.
And Matilda, what does Ambrose like to wear that seems pretty distinctive for the village? On his feet.
I'm getting a lot of lag right now.
Oh
I
no.
don't know if you can even hear me.
I can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. Try turning off your camera, seeing if that helps.
I'm watching a, yeah. I'm watching like a ping. I can see it's like getting loads of latency on it in
Okay.
like sort of spikes. I don't know what's.
I can hear you clearly. Do you hear us?
Okay.
Okay.
At the moment, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So sorry, I missed the question.
No problem. So
Completely
what
missed
is it?
everything, I think.
Yeah, what is a pair of distinctive footwear that Ambrose has? That your
Distinctive
grandson wears?
footwear. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess like it's gonna be like I don't know what you call them, like is it sabatons or something, like the shoes that like knights wear.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think that makes sense. But what is distinctive about them? Okay, I think they're like quite ornate, like, and I don't really approve. They've got like a lot of embellishments, so they have like wings coming off them or something, right? And I just think that's folly.
He's a kid, man. He's gonna wear like what
Yeah.
he's gonna wear. But anyway, you both recognize your grandsons because of the distinctive footwear underneath their cloaks, and they burst in through the double doors, and then they rush immediately to each of you. And it's like, Grandma, 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 and then they're they're freaking out. I mean, you can't see their heads because I mean, like the hoods are down, they're cloaked. And they're kind of like patting at you. They're trying to grab your hands, your shoulders, and you will notice that the hands and the arms that are grabbing onto yours are rather mottled and shriveled, for which are teenage boys essentially. What do you do?
So immediately Hilda, holds one of Magnus's hands and then reaches into her pack of soothing things to get out one of his favorite treats, a nice soft salt licorice, and places that into his hand and says, "Calm down, Magnus. Deep breaths. Explain what's going on. There you go."
Well, the hand that's clutching the licorice is pretty much like shaking, and it's like starting to look gnarled, and then like the other hand lifts up the hood, and you can see he's got like a bush of white and gray hair, like coming from his cheeks and his chin, and his hair is also graying and white, and his face and eyes are lined. He looks like an elderly man.
"Oh, dearie, did you go into the dungeon? Is
No,
this a curse?"
I mean, and he's like, like as he's trying to like eat the licorice, she's like, kind of speechless at the moment. And then Matilda, your grandson, is a little bit more put together, not quite as fluttery, but he is standing before you, and then reaching a hand out, and then realizing what he's doing, and then just reaches up and then takes his hood down. And you see him like trying to stand up as straight as possible, but it's a shaking countenance. And he is looking at you with like this great big bushy beard and longish hair. Like the hair is growing into like a salt and pepper gray. And he says, "Grandmother, looks like we've gotten ourselves into a spot of trouble."
Ambrose, what has happened to you?
We don't know.
Have you been mucking about in the dungeon again?
And he looks over at his companion. He looks over at Magnus. "We were actually over at the fairgrounds, Grandmama."
The fairgrounds. Did you buy a potion from one of those hawkers?
"No, we promise we didn't." Magnus, tell him. And Magnus, after he shakily eats the licorice, it's like, no, Grandma, we were just looking to see who had stuff around. I mean, yes, there was like Harris with his alchemy and everything like that. We know not to touch any of it. We know. But I mean, all of a sudden, it's we were walking around, and then we started to get old. Luckily we kind of got the cloaks from Old Lady Mars. We're sorry, and we just wanted to come over here and just let you know. My gosh. So, yeah. And
Come on now, you can tell me, what did you do?
And Ambrose is very insistent. It's like, Grandmama, we just went over to the fair, and as he's talking to you, he starts to get very bowed, very hunched, like he can't stand up really straight anymore. Oh, this hurts. Is this what you go through? Oh my goodness. Oh. And you can hear a distinct crack coming from his back. No, we were over at the fairgrounds. We were looking around as we normally would to see who was selling things, and then we started noticing we're getting old. We don't know what happened.
This reeks of fey trickery. We just heard about that gnome who tried to give a child back. I wonder if something's gone awry in the Underhills. Dulce, you've traveled the world as a mercenary. Have you seen anything like this?
Unfortunately, several times over. It could be, well, there's the standard curse, there's the standard potion, ate a random plant they shouldn't have. You should really test those plants extensively before you put them in your food, I'm always telling you. And, well, ambient magic, if they were in the wrong place in the wrong time, could have been the cause, but we'll never know unless we actually examine.
By this time, both boys have started to kind of hobble over to the benches that are nearby and sat down on them. I mean, Magnus is still a little bit nervous and kind of reaches out for another piece of licorice. And then Ambrose will try to stay as noble as he possibly can. But I mean, he's been having trouble, so he's just clutching the bench. Yes. We promise we didn't have anything odd to eat. I mean, just the usual, fried dough and some ale. But I mean, everyone else was drinking and eating at the same time as well. So it wasn't that. It just happened when we were there at the fair. And then Magnus pipes up and says, "Yeah, we were getting ready to hear the prince make his announcements. I mean, there's going to be a contest and there's going to be a tournament, at the close of the fair. But I mean, we were just hanging, Grandma. We didn't do anything." And what would you like to do?
Ladies, I think we need to go to the fairgrounds and investigate.
Yes, we shall see about this.
Hilda is going to move the table with the pie and salads and such over to the grandsons so that they have something, to nibble on while we're away, but also to lean on, because you don't want to put all that pressure on your back sitting on the bench like that. So take good care of yourselves, boys, and we'll be back.
Thank you, Miss Hilda. Quite appreciated. And then, makes the back is cracking yet again. And Magnus is just kind of diving into the pie, but also very carefully because I think he's familiar with Dulce's pies. Because I mean, he kind of eyes her first and then looks down at the pie, looks at Dulce, looks down at the pie. Is this safe? I mean, can I dig in?
Here, you can have mine, and I haven't touched it, but it's all cut up it's a mess.
It's
Because I've been
nice.
making anything Show up inside.
Deconstructed pie.
Yeah, Dulce's pies are a fork and knife affair.
Thank you, Miss Adela. Oh my gosh. Oh goodness. All right. And then digs in and it's like, it's really good. Oh, that's good. What's that texture? It's like so I pose it to you. Like, grandsons are kind of settled in your spot for a little while, and then you guys can go investigate the fairgrounds. Or you could go and talk to the gnome if you suspect him of anything. I don't know if you will, but yeah, I mean, what would you like to do?
I think Adela's right in that we should go to the fairgrounds
Mhm.
first. If there's any sign of fey magic, then we can talk to the gnome.
Okay.
Yeah. Chin up, Ambrose, and take those silly boots off. We'll sort this out.
I don't think I can, Grandmama. I feel like my feet have swollen. Oh, crack. As you guys leave. So, all right. Yeah, so let's see. The fairgrounds themselves. Let me just write this in here. Okay. Yes. So the fairgrounds themselves are not that far away. I'm going to say that they are placed strategically in the frontier land, whatever, between the village and the Megadungeon. Because there's a lot of room. And so again, people have set up their wares, people have set up their booths to sell like what they're going to sell. And then there is this part of the fairground that has been cleared off, like, with bleachers of sorts to get ready for the big tournament. I mean, I think they're going to have like an archery contest as well, and then like a sparring contest. Like just some of the usual fair type stuff that they would have as part of the entertainment and stuff. Like as a group, that Prince Huberfink would set this up as part of like one of the seasonal festivities, kind of thing, and yeah, the tournament usually closes out the fair. Okay. And that is set for later on in the evening. So who or what would you like to tackle first?
So Hilda's really interested in, given that our grandsons mentioned that they had to leave just before the prince made his announcement, just like asking around to figure out what did the prince announce. We heard there was a big hubbub.
Okay. We'll see. All right, and I want to find out what each one of you is planning on doing, and you can pair up. You can go by yourself, but just let me know what you want to do.
I think Dulce would like to trail Hilda as she's going around asking people things and just try to just pay more attention to the people as opposed to what they're saying, and like, do they seem oddly suspicious? Do they seem like they've been touched by the Fae or something else, etc., etc.?
Gotcha. Okay. And Adela?
I think I'm gonna look for like a high vantage point, like maybe if there's like a platform or something. I'm just gonna look around, and just do a general suspicious person looking roll.
Sure.
Anyone with the hoods or creeping about.
Sure. Yeah. Like we'll get you into. Let me see. And of course, being a fair, of course they're gonna have games. So we're gonna put you up. Excuse me, up top side somewhere. But give me a second, and I want to find out what Matilda wants to do. Matilda.
Don't have a lot to go on. I'm just trying to think what else there is to cover here. So Hilda and Dulce are talking to everybody to find out what's been going on. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, being a knight, I'm going to say that you would have access to, if not the prince himself, then you would have access to, like, some of his knightly retinue, I would say. So if you want to, like, possibly investigate with one of them, that would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could talk to them and just see if anything unusual is going on.
I mean, that's
Or
up to
any
you. I mean, just make
any
me.
any unsavory characters have come into the village recently or anything.
I mean, yeah, they might know. They might know for sure. Okay, so let's see. All right, so let me deal with getting Adela set up first, and then, like, I'll work on everybody else in turn. Okay. So Adela, you see you at the East Amble High. Oh, the creativity is rife in this place. I mean, like, if you start getting, like, into the stuff, guys, like, please put it in the Life, Village, and NPCs tab, because it's, like, it's stuff that I can, like, look upon and use, possibly, okay? So, yeah, actually, it's like, you do get near one of the games that has, like, the high vantage point, like, not as high as the Ferris wheel, thank you, but definitely something that has kind of like a what the hell do they call them? On ships? Is it like kind of like a crow's nest kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, like a kind of a crow's nest kind of deal, and it's it's a bit dangerous, but I think you'd be fine with it. It's like one of those things where it's like you take the challenge of climbing into the crow's nest, but there's like 2 or 3 ladders, like like those rope ladders that are kind of like whiffly, that you have to, like, beat the other person to get up into the crow's nest, and then you get to slide down. So yeah, it's like one of those deals. So we can say that you are trying to do this. It's like 2 pence, 2 pence. Anyone want to go to, like, do the contest? And then yeah, you'd be going up against somebody else to do this.
Oh, it's a contest.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Move away. Move. I have like I keep my bow with me at all times, and I just kind of use it to push people away at the moment.
You're an old lady. You don't care. Okay,
Yeah.
go for it.
All right. Right. So yeah. So all right. Here. I dig in to my little pouch and put in 2 pence into his hand.
And the person that you're going up against, funnily enough, is Mr. Quentin Quirlis V. It's like he's looking at you from the opposite end of the setup, and then kind of gives you this smile. Doesn't say anything, just like kind of gives you that knowing, like, wink. And then
I give him a humph,
All right, so this one, I'm like, we're gonna do the first roll of the game just for funsies. It's like you're going to do hustle. All right. So yeah, you're gonna do 1d6 with the physical dice or the dice roll or whatever you want, and then you would just add 2 to your 1d6 roll.
An 8.
Okay, great. So let's just see. You definitely succeed. So you like, tell me what this looks like. To beat him to the crow's nest. What happens? It's something either with him or, like, you're just like a lot more spry than anybody suspected. What do you think this looks like?
Yeah, I'm used to climbing trees and used to rough terrain. Yeah, I just climb up. There's like a little ladder thing, bridge, and it kind of spins, but I just keep climbing, get to the top. Yeah, I mean, I'm there very, very, very swiftly.
And
yeah,
I'm gonna say, as a fun bonus, you see from the ground. You see now, like, this juicy gossip, yeah, of Quentin having an apprenticeship with one of the elders. You know this guy. What's it like? What's this rogue's name?
it's a rogue.
He's kind of retired, but I mean, he still has some tricks up his sleeve.
Castian.
Okay, Go ahead and put Castian in the NPCs list, because Castian, you can see Castian from your vantage point at the crow's nest. You can see him looking up, looking at you appraisingly, and then looking over at Quentin, and then just kind of like giving a shake of the head. You can tell that he's tisking. And Quentin's just looking like real worried at this point. Let's cut over to Matilda. Matilda, you find yourself approaching I guess it's like I don't know if I'm using the right word, so so pardon me, like the royal panoply, essentially, because, I mean, of course, Prince Humperfrank is going to have his own tent, his own, like, like space on this fairground. And it's got the guards and the knights, that are attending him and such. You probably know like one or two of them that are like outside of the enclosure. I'm gonna call them. They're twins, actually. They're like younger than you, but they know you by reputation, if not by knowing you personally. And it's like, it's Jaden and Traden. Okay, so Jaden and Traden know you, and they are, kind of giving you a respectful nod. And it's like, oh, ma'am, what are you doing here? We didn't expect you. Are you enjoying the fair?
Is something wrong?
I'm sorry?
Is something wrong? You seem flustered.
No, absolutely not. No, we just we weren't expecting to see you here. I mean, normally, and they both look at each other. The knights that usually attend will attend to the fair and see what's around, and those of us that are assigned to the prince will do our duty. Of course, yes.
You don't seem too sure of that.
And then the other twin, I don't even remember who was talking, so sorry. So the other twin pipes up and says, "No, that's not it. I mean, like, he gets a little nervous. I do apologize. We are just so in awe of your skill."
You seem to think I came down in the last shower. One would think you're hiding something from me.
Why?
You might as well come clean and tell me right now. What is it?
Okay, so go ahead and roll me stories. Yeah.
Roll
Stories.
the what now? Stories. Oh yes, my worst skill. Let's do this.
1d6. Yeah, 1d6 -1. Goodness.
I rolled a 3, so I guess I have 2.
Okay, so 2. Let's see. On a 2, a complication arises and you take a personal slight.
Yes.
Mark 1 personal slight. Narrate the complication.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's supposed to be me, but you know what? I love to see what the players come up with. So what's your complication?
I'll tell you the complication, and you can tell me how it's worse.
Okay.
Brenda would know, maybe.
That's fine.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, complication. Well, I don't know. I think it's like I'm trying to. I think they like outrank me or something, right? Like I think this is not the proper way to behave. But like people kind of normally give me a little bit of like latitude, just I guess because of my age or my status or something, and just my personality is like no nonsense. But that's not working here, and I'm out of line, I think, maybe. So does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds fine. I mean, if anything, it's like, they're kind of giving you actually giving each other a look, and then they turn back to you and says, "Well, we are here." And then the other one completes the sentence. It's like, "To do our duty." And then they go back to attention. But then both of them will bar the tent with their poles. So, let's go over to Hilda and Dulce. All right. So, who would you like to hit up first? I mean, like, you see all of the stalls, booths, whatever, of like, all the different people selling their wares. I mean, like, if you'd like to name a couple that maybe you know, either from the NPC list or make up your own, I mean, that's perfectly fine. But I mean, like, yeah, you're like along the what the hell they call it? Not artist alley, but I mean, like, again, it's just like, goods and services and stuff like that, like hawking their wares.
Yeah, so given that our grandson said that they didn't talk with Harris, I want to talk to Harris the Alchemist, because he doesn't hopefully have any skin in this game.
Right.
Yeah, so Hilda is like all kindness and politeness. She's dealt with Harris before as a source of ingredients for him, thanks to her lovely garden of weird ingredients. And it's just like, oh, Mr. Harris, I hear that there was a big announcement from the prince not long ago. Did you happen to hear what he said? I would hate to have missed out on something, a big deal like that.
Oh, yes. Well, okay, so Harris is like, kind of like a big burly guy. I mean, like, he surprisingly dexterous for such a big guy, because his hands like look kind of like, beefy, and then just kind of like, like you can tell he's able to work with these delicate ingredients to make some of what he makes. But at this point too, it's very strange, right? So he's got the alchemist booth, but then also on the other side of his booth, he's got the food and drink dispensing as well. It's odd, I know, but that's what he's got. So it's like he's just kind of fiddling with his wares, and then it's like he's just looking at you, saying, don't recall an announcement." But then again, I was busy trying to give like, do you see this keg? I mean, like, I'm practically out of it already, and it's like it's not even mid-morning, so I need to get a refill. And then everyone was coming around for the fried dough. You smell that fried dough all over. I mean, like, it's like there's a big vat of it behind him. And yes, I mean, I don't recall hearing an announcement, but then again, that doesn't necessarily surprise me, because Humberfink isn't exactly the loudest speaker.
Interesting. Well, good luck with your things, and remember, don't mix up the alembic with the cook pot. You know what happened last time.
And he looks back behind him, and then you see behind him there is a hanging cook pot that looks blown out of the bottom.
Oh,
I remember.
So while Hilda and this dude were having that conversation, Dulce was probably just going through the elixirs on the counter, just reading their intended effects and just rummaging.
Are you investigating? What are you doing?
Yes, I'm looking for anything that we know this dude, we know what his wares normally look like. I want to see if there's anything like out of place, as if something new or someone put something there. So
Got it. Okay, so roll with the stories.
that is a 5.
5. Okay, so I think you succeed. Let me just double check that. 5 or 6, you succeed. Fantastic. Okay, so you succeed, and you notice that there is amongst the elixirs, there's like some bottles that, even though they say, like, whatever homeopathic remedy that he usually provides, the bottles or the stuff inside the bottles do not look like the normal stuff. It looks like, I don't know, like a different color, or maybe it's a little fizzy. I mean, like, just something very different about them. So
Hilda, you didn't tell me that you'd mutated your plants recently.
I don't know that I would have noticed. What are you seeing there?
Well, this is pretty fair standard, but Looks different, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Hilda is going to like rummage through her bag a little bit and pull out some desiccated plant that would normally go into that thing and just compare the two side by side. Harris, this doesn't look right at all.
And he takes a closer look. It's like, yeah, that's not right. That's not part of the usual batch. I'm so sorry. I mean, let me remove them from the stock. This was in with my things? I am so sorry. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't think anybody's bought any recently. Let me go ahead and take those off the shelves. Thank you. Goodness. Again, I hope no one has taken any of these before. And then he just looks really worried. It's like,
I know we've brought it up before, and I know you said that it would be too much, but have you considered getting an assistant temporarily? Someone to run the food while you run the alchemy, or vice versa?
I mean, I would, but, I mean, well. Rothamintha is too busy hanging with her adventurer friends to care about helping her uncle. So, and, you know, you gather Rothamintha. A name on the fly. What do you want from me? Spell it however you want. Anyway, you know that it's the girl. It's the girl from the trio that you know.
Yeah, she has fallen into bad company lately.
Well, maybe not bad company, but I mean, she just, I guess, wants to get her name out there, and she's like, you know, doesn't want to help with something as mundane as this, I suppose.
Oh, young people, always in such a rush.
Speaking of young people, Matilda, as you turn away from the prince's tent, of course, coming up to you is Tyrone. And he's just like, you know, doing that, like, you know, the shoulders lead, let's put it that way, okay? Like, the shoulders lead, because they're the biggest thing that he's got. Oh, it's our old stir again. How are you? And he kind of makes a condescending, like, clack of his heels as he gives the little bow.
I'm fine. Look, I'm very busy, so I don't have time for these games right now.
I mean, there's games and then there's contests. What say you to a contest between you and I? See who is the more skilled per se. Shall we prove that age is better than beauty?
I have nothing to prove to you. Now stand aside, young man.
Really? Huh. One would almost call you chicken.
Nobody calls me chicken, Tyrone. Not twice, anyway.
Then meet me in the tourney field. No, we will not be on horses. We will battle like adventurers do. We will go sword to sword.
Very well. But you might want to get someone to adjust your cuirass.
Why?
Just like flicks this like strap and it's like loose and it's like his arm is not done up properly.
Nice. Okay.
And then she just okay, oh, name the time.
In an hour.
In an hour then.
Yes.
I look forward to teaching you a lesson.
I look forward to teaching my better a lesson. And then he strides off, shoulders moving. And then, so now you've got a challenge. Yay! Adela, you actually see this exchange from your vantage point.
Oh, I was gonna say because
Go
she
ahead.
creeped up on me, but no. Go ahead.
No. Well, no, she's still up. As far as I know, she's still up in the tower. Who knows? She could be Batman. We'll see. Yeah. So Adela, you're up in the tower. You see the the tisking look.
I just shake my head.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
hope
he kind of like looks at you and like kind of nods, and it's like you can see he knows that you saw, and then just kind of winks at you, and yeah, and then you do see the exchange between Tyrone and Matilda, and didn't hear it, but I mean, like you could tell it was some fun altercation, and yeah, how do you
I'm
want
checking
to-
out. Yeah, I'm just checking out for anything suspicious from that I can see from here.
Hmm. I guess I get again appropriately. I mean, like the closest would be stories at this point.
Okay.
So yeah.
A 3.
All right. So let's see. A 3, 3 to 4. You can fail, or ask to succeed at a cost. Yeah. Let's see. Do you want to make maybe you're just so, you're looking around so much, but you can't quite tell anything, or would you like to succeed, but there's a cost to this?
Yeah, I'd like to succeed at a cost.
Okay. All right. So basically what you end up seeing is that the tents aren't covered. Like, some of the tents in the prince's enclosure are not like with the top on them. They're just more like kind of like a surround. So this way it's like kind of fences off like the hoi polloi from him, right? And then you can see into the prince's tent enclosure, and then you can see him on what is his dais or whatever, on his throne, and he's kind of got that snooty look. He's got one hand like this, and then like the drapery on him, and he's standing, and then he's talking with someone that you don't quite recognize because they're hooded and they're in front of him, and then he just kind of gives that snooty look, turning to them and then talking and nodding. You see that? Yeah, that's what you see.
I think I don't trust hooded people as a rule. So
Yeah, you can't see who he's talking to, but yeah, he's talking to somebody.
if this person starts heading out, I'm gonna try to figure out where they're going.
Yeah.
Can we say like once I figure that out, like the Quentin just reaches the crow's nest.
Yes,
And
he just reaches it.
There's a line there going like a support rope holding it up, and I just put my bow on it, and I'm just gonna slide down.
Nice. Okay. But at that point, for you to do that, I think you lose track of the hooded figure for a little bit.
All right.
Yeah. So I mean,
I had the direction.
Yeah, you have a direction, but you're not sure if that's exactly where they're going. So, but again, yeah, you succeed, but at a cost. Okay. All right. So we're hitting on the next hour mark. Amazingly enough, I actually noticed this time. Holy shit. Okay. So we're gonna take another 10-minute break at this point. So again, back at I cannot read time for what have you, the 7-minute mark for me. Okay. All right. So see you in 10.
See you then.
And we're back, and I remembered this time. Great. So let's go ahead and let's see. Hilda and Dulce had discovered the weirdness in some of the vials on Harris's display, and then Adela had seen a hooded figure coming from the prince's enclosure that she was going to follow, and Matilda has a challenge from good old Tyrone. Finally, he wants to, prove his worth or whatever, prove something for whatever reason, and yeah, you have a fighting date in an hour. So let's see. I'm gonna say at some point before the fight, before the appointed tourney, you four get together and kind of pool your information. especially because this affects both Hilda and Matilda's grandchildren. So let's have that little scene of like, you know, you guys like finding each other and then trying to figure out like what the hell's going on.
So, to recap, we've gone to Harris the alchemist and found that either he made a mistake or somebody tampered with some of his goods. Now, the boys do swear that they didn't get anything from him, but they did talk about that fried dough. So there's no telling for sure that they didn't accidentally have a bite of something that had been befouled.
Well, something funny is going on at the prince's tent. They wouldn't let me go in. Although,
Oh.
who knows with princes? It could be anything, but it is suspicious.
Well, I saw the prince talking to some person with a disreputable hood, who immediately left the prince's enclosure. I tried to follow them, but they must have been onto me.
Oh, Adela, you don't sneak up on me like that.
I've been here the whole time. Ugh. Fine.
How did you see the prince when I could not?
Oh, you have to go up high to see low.
All right. So as this is going on, as you're meeting in a particular place, you're seeing like people going through the fairgrounds and such. And then as you're talking, it's like, Adela, you see a slight spot of that disreputable hood, like moving away from the alleyway, the wares alleyway, and like, you know, moving towards the back of the fair.
Okay, I'll say, eyes up. I scent my prey, and I'm gonna stalk off to try to follow them. If anyone wants to follow me, they can. I don't take heed though.
Anybody following Adela, or you gonna?
I think Matilda will.
Okay,
Yeah, you know, there's something strange afoot.
absolutely.
It's a team expedition.
Okay.
As long as I'm not going to be late for my date later.
I mean, because I think at this point too, Matilda, I think you're hearing it's like Tyrone making his own pronouncement from one of the stool platforms, whatever. I mean, like that's around the fair, like when people want to make announcements and such. And it's like, you know, he's like, you know, kind of like, you know, raising both arms in the air and then saying, it's like, watch me prove that the young, and like, okay, so what he basically says is like, you know, that T-Works trio of exceptional adventurers. This is what he's called their group. Trio of exceptional adventurers. It's like, all superior to the oldsters that have taken our spots, and then like goes off on a rant. It's like, be here, and then like over at the tourney field in you know, however much time, like an hour or whatever, and then declaiming and announcing that, you know, he will fight you in the tourney field at that appointed time. So yay.
Just roll my eyes, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And so you follow, I mean, Adela, of course, is like in the lead because, I mean, like, you know, she's able to track this person. And or this person, I should say, this person is kind of like, you know, ducking in and out of the alleyway, and then also going past some of the tents, like, you know, kind of trying to follow a very circuitous route, like in and around the fairgrounds. So it actually comes to the back of the prince's enclosure, which is weird because, I mean, like, this is where the person had come from, or maybe they were like busy doing something else while, you know, you lost track of them. But yeah, you see them duck back into the prince's enclosure at this point, like, you know, Possibly the prince's tent himself. What do you guys do?
I look to see if there's any people, any guards or anything like that. I'm planning to just go in after them.
There are, like, several of the knights that are in, like, regular intervals, like, around the whole campus enclosure. That's what I'm going to call it, because, again, it's like, it's big. It's like not only the prince's tent, but it's like, got, like, other topless tents, like, kind of fencing off the area, per se, So
I think I think Matilda will try to distract one of the guards, or the nearest set of guards, just by walking up to them and making conversation, like, Theo, how's your son, and blah blah blah, like,
okay.
create an opening that maybe Adela can explain.
All right. So in this case, I'm gonna, like, for you, Matilda, I'm gonna say hustle. You're gonna do hustle for trying to kind of give a distraction for cover for Adela.
Second worst stat. Roll a 1. Yes.
You rolled a 1. Oh my goodness. You're killing me. You're killing me, Gareth. Oh my god. A complication arises and you take a personal slight. Mark another one. Narrate the complication.
Okay. Wow.
I mean, yes, you do know them. But how does this get complicated? I'm sorry. It's like I shouldn't laugh, because I mean, I know I've had some really bad rolls too. But
I think I got their name wrong, and it's like they're not even the right person, and it's really awkward.
Oh, Jesus God. Okay, yes.
I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I knew you or something. And now everyone's looking, like, all the guards are looking, like the next lot over, and they're laughing a bit. And it's like,
yes.
I've drawn attention to all of us. It's a total bodge.
Yes, you. Oh, talk about collateral damage. Okay,
it's
yes.
Really awkward. Yeah.
Yes, it's very awkward. It's like, and the guard that you were talking to is real offended, and it's like, you should know better. It's like, we used to have a drink every now and again. Did you get hurt, like, in your last bout? My goodness, it's like, and it just gets real indignant. So I don't know how the rest of you would like to. Yeah. What do you do?
A quick question. Was the hooded figure trying to avoid the guards? Did I get a sense, or did they actually acknowledge the person when they entered in?
They actually look like they had managed to avoid the guards.
Okay.
Like they slipped in, like, in a different entrance, somewhere between, like, the intervals of the nights. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I look to Hilda, like, don't you know these people?
Oh,
Smooth
yeah.
over.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Let's see. So I think Hilda is going to take this as an opening to sort of drag Matilda through the mud very gently by bringing up, of course Matilda forgot your name. She forgot to invite me to her whole wedding. This is really just par for the course for Matilda.
Burn. Oh goodness. But that gets the knights that are nearby, like, smirking a little and laughing. I mean, I'm sorry that's so painful for you, Matilda. But yeah, I mean, like, they're all like commiserating now. It's like, yeah, she forgot my birthday. It's like, can you believe it? I mean, like, and she gave me something that was like, that wasn't even like, for that particular occasion. And it's like, she knows I already have like that halberd. Why did she give that to me again? And then
Matilda's kind of blustering, can't really find anything to say. And I think she says, "Oh, I just remembered. I have to I have a challenge. I have to meet someone on the field of battle shortly. I have to go, and just kind of leaves.
But while this is all happening and everybody's like, starting to add to the little litany, it's like, Adela, it's like, if you would like to try some hustle. I think it's hustle. Yeah, hustle. Yeah.
Absolutely. 6.
Okay, so you succeed. I'm not gonna, there's no complications with that. So you would succeed in slipping into the prince's enclosure. Before I move over and then, check it. Dulce, where are you going? Or what are you doing?
I think Dulce's gonna give Adela a little bit of like a few minute head start, and then she's also going to sneak in.
Okay. I would also want you to do some hustle, because I mean, like, by the time that you manage to, figure out yourself, I mean, like, maybe the guards have broken up, maybe they've gone back to their points, whatever. So yeah, hustle.
That is a 4.
Okay, so for 3 to 4, you can fail, or you can ask to succeed at a cost.
I would like to ask to succeed at a cost.
Okay. So, yes, you do manage to slip in, almost right after Adele. I mean, like, Adela, you're trying to make sure that, you can see what she's doing, and then you're trying to get through as well. What would you like to say that the cost is?
What if somehow, some way, no idea how it would happen, but this hooded figure and I have history?
Okay. Let me go check in with Hilda first to see if she's gonna go with Matilda or what have you, and then we'll circle back around to everybody. Okay. So Hilda, what are you doing?
So after giving all of the guards a little snack, just because they've been on their feet for a while, and we've all been there. I've had plenty of guard duty. I know what it's like. After that, I'm gonna bid them all a fond farewell, each by name, and then follow after Matilda, because I have some things that I need to say to her before she goes into battle.
Okay. Let's hit that scene first, because I want to see this. Go for it. It's like, so yeah, Matilda, you're heading towards the tourney field, for your appointed time. And I guess Hilda, you're following?
Yeah. So yeah, Hilda's sort of like, she's not good at hustling, so she's hobbling along to try to catch up and panting a little bit, and says, Matilda, wait.
I think Matilda feigns to have not heard, and it's just like,
Oh.
because like her pride has been wounded by this embarrassing spectacle, and so she's just like focusing on like, I just need to get away. So she's actually kind of running away, but she wants to look like she's purposefully striding somewhere. She's not running away.
Oof. Okay, so Hilda like stops, hands on her knees, panting, and then just shouts, I have to say sorry before you go in there and get knocked around by a darn kid.
I think that she stops short there, still facing away for a moment.
Okay, hobble, 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 hobble. Hilda's going to sort of, walk around to the other side, and you can't tell if she's like trying to catch her breath or bowing, maybe a little bit of both, and says, it was unfair of me to pick on you like that, and I'm so sorry. I know that I harp on you all the time for having forgotten. I know that I joke about how forgetful you are. It's in the past. It was a bridge too far for me to drag that in front of all those guards like that, your peers. Um, I don't know that I can make it up to you right now, but I would love, and she rummages through her pack and pulls out this old town flag. It's patched. It's been very carefully kept up, but it's the banner that Hilda kept with her when she was on guard duty. And she says, if you would do me the honor of wearing this as a cape and representing all of us, the old guard of the town in this match. It would mean the world to me, old friend.
So Matilda slowly takes the flag, and you can see her kind of like her welling up, like her eyes have got all shiny, but she's not actually crying. Do you know what I mean? Like she's holding it back. And she's like, "It is I that should apologize, Hilda. As I have done so many times. I can't believe I forgot. I am so sorry." And it all came flooding back just now. But I will take this flag and wear it with pride, and I will teach this whippersnapper a lesson for all of us.
Give 'em hell, lady.
She ties it on with a flourish.
Looks good too. I mean, like, it's like, then you see like a shaft of sunlight burst through the cloud and like almost shine down upon you. And then like, your comically large weapon, is it like something strapped to your back, or is it like, at your side, like at your belt?
I think it has to go on the back because it's so big.
Right.
I guess I was trying to think of something novel, but I think it's just a huge sword. It's like Final Fantasy style. Like
sure.
Really, it's like as wide as my back. It doesn't make any sense how I could possibly lift it, kind of thing.
But it works. It totally works. And then like this shaft of sunlight is like, comes down upon you, and then like the old town flag makes you look like just so much more noble because it's draped in just that way. And then like, you can hear this metallic shing as it shines down on you.
Just like yeah.
Exactly. Like that, like that anime pose. And like, if like, I don't know if your hair is like, loose or in a bun or whatever, but like, whatever's loose, like whether wisps of hair or your ponytail or what have you, that's waving in the breeze. Along with you. So yeah, we're going to cut over quickly to Adela and Dulce. I think, Adela, you find yourself in the prince's enclosure, and you're actually behind what would be his throne, like if he was like, sitting there like, watching something or whatever. Yeah, Matilda is the only person under the effect of the breeze. Absolutely. Yeah. It's an effect. So you see the prince sitting in his throne looking rather bored. I mean, like, well, you can just tell from the back of him because that's what you see. He doesn't see you or sense you, but he is talking with the hooded figure, who you don't see the face. You see a mouth and you see a nose, but that's all you see there. And like Dulce has kind of like behind you. I think you sense Dulce behind you, but not so close that she'll be noticed. At least not right away. Okay. And what you hear, let's see. What you hear is, "So, is it done? Did the experiment work?" And the person that is under the hood, I think, Dulce, you recognize that voice. And the voice says, "Yes, my lord, it did. We saw some of the village children run away in shame. So, 2 less for the tourney." Dulce, whose voice is that?
It's Damien, that sly motherfucker. We worked together sometimes.
Gotcha. Do you consult with Adela? You both hear the exchange. I mean, but do you kind of like just hang back for a little bit?
Normally I would, in any other circumstance, go up to Adela and kind of whisper in her ear what I know of this person. But I know they have relatively sharp senses, so I am going to hang back.
Okay. All right. And then, Adela, what are you doing before I switch over to Matilda and Hilda? My God, I can't believe how well that worked. Holy shit. Sorry.
I think, yeah, I'm trying to like figure out like, why don't they want children at the tourney? This seems like very complicated. It could, she's at a loss. Um, she'll uh, she'll listen for the sound of money being exchanged, just to see if this is a financial transaction of any sort at the moment.
Not at the moment, no. I
Okay.
mean, like, this person is just kind of like bowing to the prince and answering his question for sure. And that at this point, the prince will get up and then say, "Good. So I hear that there's some sort of bout between one of the little grandmothers and one of the group. This could be fun. Let us go and then see see who proves their mettle, shall we?" And so the prince goes and does his, one-handed out thing, and then strides towards the exit of his enclosure, and the hooded person follows, like, deferentially, like not trying to stay abreast of the prince, but of course bowing and then following deferentially before they completely leave.
Did I get a sense of the hooded figure? What was male or female?
Dulce?
I've been using they, them, so I didn't have to figure that out myself.
Okay.
Well, I mean, since they left, I mean, like, I don't know if you two want to consult with each other before I flip over to Hilda and Matilda.
I think at this point I will creep forward and I'll say, I know that person.
Yes, it's the prince.
No, the hooded one.
Oh, who's that?
Well, you remember in several of my stories, I mentioned a certain Damien.
Refresh my memory. You have a lot of stories.
We worked together for a while. Things went well, and then better, and then far worse. And then we had to stop working together. Difference of opinion.
Huh. All right. Well,
It appears that I have found them once again.
oh, well, I don't. Did you hear what they're trying to plot? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, the prince said one of the group. Do you think maybe they're trying to raise the knockoff Teague to glory by taking out the competition? Though I don't know what's in it for them.
No. This is weird. All right. All right, let's well, we know where they're going, so we don't even have to follow them. Let's go see that bout. I want to see Matilda kick that guy's ass.
Absolutely.
All right. Speed over through the fairgrounds to the tourney field at the appointed time. And then, okay, so the trio is there. And, of course, Rothaminda and Quentin, I'm not going to say his whole name, are there and just kind of like, like spurring him on, like spurring Tyrone on, as like Tyrone's like jumping from foot to foot and shaking out his hands, and then just like whipping out his sword, like does this practice, like stance does, and then like making a few parries here and there and what have you. And you can hear them kind of like doing like a little chant. It's like trio, and then I don't know what you're doing on your side of the field, Matilda. Tell me what it looks like when you warm up.
Oh, just loving their little chant and everything. They're so cute. I don't know if Matilda really warms up or anything. I think she just turns up and like it doesn't mess about at all. And maybe she pulls us on fastens her sword and pulls it loose. And kind of there's like a twinge in her back or something that she tries to cover, but she's
Do your stretches, dearie.
So, quiet, Hilda. I'm fine. Stop fussing.
It's like, get out that liniment, Hilda. She might need it afterwards.
Not in front of the children.
Oh gosh, right, exactly. Oh goodness. So, and everybody, there's been a lot of people that have gathered about it because they heard Tyrone. They heard Tyrone's announcement, and then, you know, like some of them have followed you because they know they're expectant, like, you know. So some of the older folk are just like, you know, are like grinning because they are hoping you will kick this kid's ass. And then, like, you know, some of the younger ones, like, you know, maybe are kind of hopeful and seeing it's like, oh, I don't know about this. I mean, like, you know, Tyrone's gonna, like, you know, totally, like, you know, whip this old woman into the ground. I don't know about this. Oh no. And then yeah, so they're surrounding the tourney field. It's almost like as if, like, you know, the grand tournament was about to happen because everybody wants to see this going down. So anyway, and yeah, Tyrone finished his little dance and, like, you know, shaking out and stuff like that, and it's like kind of like pumped, you know, like as they do the chant, and then he draws his own sword, and then he kind of looks at you and then calls out to you. It's like, are you ready, Miss Matilda?
Yes.
And he just shakes his head and then just, like, you know, the shoulders stride forward. And then he points the sword at you. We shall stand here and meet like, and then remembers meet as, and still has to think about it. He's not the brightest kid on the block, unfortunately. So it's like, forget it. Just let's fight. And then, you know, gets into a stance. He gets into a stance. I don't know what you do.
I think I'm going to have Matilda do that samurai thing where they just like chill out and act like they're not actually even preparing or doing anything, and then they're just going to do something at the exact appropriate moment. So
Okay.
So she's just kind of calmly standing there, not even really like posing or anything.
It's like
she's not a show woman at all. She's
right. And then like, you know, you hear the silence on the field because, like, everybody's like, you know, like looking like, what? And then you know, Tyrone will say, well, if you won't start it, I will. And then he whips out his sword, like, you know, almost like two-handed, and then he will, like, you know, try to slash at you, and everybody goes, ooh.
Yeah. So Matilda will try to kind of avoid it in such a way as to use his force against him, right? Like, so.
Oh, okay. So basically you want to take him off balance by not doing anything at all except getting out of the way.
Just the minimum amount of effort in order to make him not hit me
Nice.
and to slice into the air instead.
Nice. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to say you don't necessarily have to roll just yet. And it's like I'd like to see how this happens, and where, I mean, he's basically, you know, trying to get at you, but then you keep him off balance because you're just getting out of the way just in time, and then he's trying to swing, old woman. What kind of fight is this? And the shoulders are leading.
Yeah, I think she just wants to infuriate him, frustrate him, wear him out.
And every single time that he swings and, like, misses, everybody's like, ooh. Like this breeze of sound that kind of pummels you. So we can do this narratively, or you can risk it for a biscuit on a roll. What would you like to do?
Well, the dice haven't been kind to me, but I feel like I should roll it because I just want to. I think it'll be funny. Well, it'll be satisfying either way. Like, it'll be interesting whatever happens. So I'd like to randomize it.
If it ends up, please no. I want to see her win. But if it rolls badly, I want you to narrate what happens. Okay? Because what's going to happen is, if you do roll badly, I will add a complication to the whole thing. Okay? So go for it. Guts.
Guts. So I have a +2, so see how it goes. It's a 5.
Ooh, so you succeed. Tell me how you succeed.
So yeah, it's like frustrating him, wearing him out. He's just starting to look kind of desperate in the end, like he's just getting tired and missing, and so he's just kind of being humiliated. He's humiliating himself. He's looking foolish, and I think she doesn't. In the end, she kind of steps aside and kind of just knocks his leg so that he falls, and it's like she doesn't even really hit him that hard, and so she just outclasses him. It's just like it's not even a contest, and then she kind of, at the end, I think she reaches out offers her hand to pull him up.
And he
And just says, you've still got a lot to learn.
And
But there's promise, and then just like leaves it like that to see if he'll take her hand.
And he looks up at you, like, his face in the dirt, and he'll just look up at you and just kind of grit his teeth, and it's like, you didn't fight. It wasn't fair. And as he's saying that, and he's still on the ground prone, you hear...
Oh, ironic slow clap, nasty.
But not from the audience, not from anybody in the audience. Everybody else is silent. It's actually the prince. The prince has actually come through, and then you see like everybody that's near the prince, like kind of kneel. Not everybody does it. It's like, just enough people do it. And then it's like, well, Tyrone, I don't know about this. Maybe it's a good thing that I considered others to be my adventuring group. And that's when he calls out 3 people from the throng. And it's like, you don't recognize them, that they look like they're like from other villages or what have you. And there's a trio of them. It's like, two youngsters, like probably in their teens to like, their 20s, and they're streamlined. They've got like, all the good gear. They've got like, the fancy weapons and stuff like that. But they also look like they've been used. So that's important. Like, you of those that know battle, like, that these are battle hardened kids. And so maybe I should have given you the potion after all. And then that's when Tyrone like kind of turns over and then looks up. What do you mean? What? And then the other 2 of the trio, like Rothamintha and Quentin, are looking puzzled as well. It's like, what do you mean? Like, we spiked everyone's drink like you said. You said we were going to be part of your group. And the prince just looks at him down his nose and says, well, you've obviously proven that you can't handle it. And Quentin's performance earlier showed that he couldn't handle it. And then he turns to Rothamintha. Would you like to prove that you are not worthy either? Cut to the chase. And so he's looking off at the throng, and actually you can see now that there are some kids that you might have recognized from town, from the village, that actually look like they're aging as well. So they got whatever concoction this was. Yes, so maybe this was an experiment. Maybe this was a way to weed out those that weren't going to be worthy of representing me in the Megadungeon. And then he makes a flourish gesture towards the Megadungeon. And, I don't know what you guys want to do, because I'm going to spring something on here to round out the end.
Yeah, Hilda is in a fit. You scoundrel! You poisoned all of the youths of this town just so that you could, what, get an exclusive claim on the old ruins? Those are public property. You know, they're a great tourist destination that people go to, and sure, it's a little bit cursed and there are some trapdoors and things, but it's a damn historical landmark.
Especially after dear old, we never named, did we name the rogue, guys? The old rogue.
Castian?
Castian? Yeah.
Thank you. Especially after dear old Castian took it upon themselves to offer you such a nice apprenticeship, Quentin.
Ooh, Quentin's like putting his hands behind his back and kind of toeing the ground on this one. It's like looking around, not looking at anybody else, including his trio. Yep. So.
I'm sorry, was that not public information? Surely you told your friends.
He sidles. He starts to sidle away.
And you, Rithaminta, I'll yell, you're tarnishing your uncle's reputation with whatever happened at his table. Have you no honor for your own family?
And she looks down really guilty, and then she screams, "It was Tyrone's idea. It was Tyrone's idea. Tyrone is the one that was like wanted to do that, so that this way we didn't have any competition." And then she just keeps going, like, you know, and yeah, you can see Harris on the edge of the crowd, just like kind of shaking his head. It's like,
oh, settle down, darling. Don't lay this on Tyrone. It's the prince who's accountable for all this. You three were duped. An adult really ought to know better than to bring a bunch of kids with their half-formed ideas and incomplete adult personalities in on his schemes.
and at this point, like as the prince looks snootily on, and then like kind of Damien's, or I think it was Damien, right? Is kind of like, you know, in the shadows behind the prince. You hear the cry of, I think it was Tuttle. I love how we just piled on names. It's great. You hear the voice of Tuttle crying out, "Oh, Manticore!" And then, like, you hear a roar from behind, well, from around the enclosures and stuff like that. And then, like, tearing through the crowd as everybody's screaming, there is a manticore loose. It's not a big manticore, but it's big enough, you know? This is the manticore that Tuttle had in his basement. And he's like, "Don't hurt him! Don't hurt him!" He's like, "He's just kind as a little kitten. He just got out. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Manticore!" And like trying to warn everybody. As everybody's screaming, it's like, you know, Tyrone rolls out of the way and then, like, you know, gets up and like runs. Well, doesn't really run because he's basically worn himself out. But just rolls out of the way. You lose track of the trio, and then the prince has conveniently, like, you know, swirled out and disappeared a little bit. And yeah, so there's a manticore loose. You see it coming to view. What do you guys do?
I'm gonna pull some reinforced rope out of my bag, you know, varied weapons.
Mhm.
And I'm at the same time I'm gonna go, Adela.
Yes, I see it. I see it, Dulce.
I don't suppose this used to be one of yours?
She squints. It could be. It's gonna be a gamble.
Well, it's like, you know, now my usual saying, risk it for a biscuit. You can roll if you want. This would be, I think in this case it would be hustle. It's like, do you think this manticore knows you? If you want to do that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, let's go for it. 6.
Oh, wait, no, I apologize. Oh, wait.
Oh,
Doesn't matter. Because I was going to say, like, then I remembered it's like knowledgeable and personable you are. So stories could have worked too. That's fine. Okay, so 6, right? So you succeed. And this manticore sees you, or sees everybody's, like, turning weapons into sticks and, like, just, like, making a ruckus and just causing havoc. And then sees you. And then will actually, like, plant both front paws down and then do that little bow that, like, some, like, cats or dogs do, like, when they really like whom they're seeing. And then just kind of, like, come up to you and then, like, give you a really big lick.
Can I say that that I had run down from where I was to the next to Matilda, and I say, "Oh, can I borrow this?" And I reach into her bag, and she has a ball of yarn that she uses for knitting. And I kind of throw that to Spotsy, the manticore, who loves playing with the yarn because they're cats at heart.
Yeah. So, like, Spotsy's like, like the eyes roll and then, like, follow it and just kind of, like, noses it a little bit. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's huge and it's trying to nose it with its big ass nose. And it's like, kind of like, then kind of, like, doing a little dodge and then doing the little pat, pat, pat with the paws, between the paws. It's, it's fine. It's like, it's all good. And everybody's kind of like, tentative. Like, you can see this almost as a group as the wave slowly comes back, and everybody's like, ooh. Now, what do you guys want to do about the prince? He's conveniently disappeared.
Well, ladies, I think we probably need to find the prince and that alchemist friend of his in order to make all this right. Adela, do you think between you and Warden Tuttle that you'd be able to get Spotsy here to put on a scary show?
Yeah, of course. What are you thinking, Hilda?
Oh, I'm thinking we all know that Spotsy here is just the kindest little kitten, but the prince turned tail and fled, so maybe we could scare him or his alchemist friend into helping us out without ever really putting them in danger.
Oh yeah. Okay, everyone, hop on. Can we ride the manticore?
I don't know. Do you think it's big enough to ride? I mean, I'm up for anything at this point. That's fine.
Oh, absolutely.
Because basically, you're still dripping wet from the big lick the manticore made.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, like, if you want to go and chase the rogue prince down, that's perfectly fine. Let's see. Yeah. So, I'm gonna say that you get Spotsy to sniff him out, and you discover that, like, really the prince was getting ready to head out from his enclosure. I think you guys crash, like, from Spotsy's back into the prince's enclosure. I mean, like, the knights have all scattered, like, he ain't getting guarded by anybody at this point. And yeah, you land in the courtyard of his enclosure as he's trying to escape on, like, a little carriage that Damien is driving. The horses don't want to deal with this at all, and they bolt, leaving the prince and Damien, like, there, freaking out. So, I mean, like, the prince is, like, trying to climb onto his throne, like, backing into it, and Damien's, like, cowering behind it, that sort of thing. So, protect me, you fool! It's like I gave you enough coin for this. And Damien's like, So, what would you like to do?
It's all over, Your Highness.
This tiny manticore drank some of your potion, and now it's gotten huge and old, and the only thing that'll save it and turn it into a tiny kitten again is the antidote.
Damien, bring out that last batch. It's like, and then like, you see from behind the throne like this messenger sack with the buckles like being shakily brought out from behind the throne, and that's all you see as the hand drops the bag onto the ground. And then you see the hooded figure pretty much like, race the fuck out of there. And the prince is still cowering on his throne, like, his, like, as if like cowering in the throne is going to help him any.
Nice. Hilda is making a big show of like clinging to Spotsy, holding him back. Oh, it's so tough to keep this manticore still.
What do you propose to do with me then? It's like, huh. I can go back to my kingdom. I can do this elsewhere. I don't have to, be here in this village, this wreck.
Matilda, I'm just a humble town guard. You know the ways of the nobles better than any of us.
Yes, and they will all hear of your misdeeds. I do not think you'll be able to pull this trick again once everyone hears of your deeds in this village. Is that what you want?
What do you propose in return? Got the antidote.
Well, what's the? I guess it's just like you should just refrain from doing this again, right? Like, so, if you refrain from doing this again, then perhaps we can keep this quiet.
Matilda, those young upstart guards didn't seem to think much of you. What if you got an appointment as a guard to the prince yourself? Just so you could keep an eye on the little punk.
Oh yes, just so I could keep an eye on him, of course. Yeah, okay, that sounds fair. What do you say, Your Highness?
Fine. And he begrudgingly, gets up off his throne and then, makes the appointment. And then we will epilogue here to see what does it look like for you four, each of you four, like together or individually, you pick a time after this incident at the fairgrounds. The antidote was given to your grandsons, so they're fine and they're back to their normal selves. Yeah. Did you tell anyone what the plan was? I mean, I think he only made it clear, like here in the enclosure, as you were scaring the shit out of him with the manticore. So I mean, like, I don't think anybody else really suspected what the true nature of the plan was.
I think in Hilda's case, we get a little scene of her and her grandson Magnus, having tea out in her garden. There are all sorts of interesting, oddball things growing about them. And she's just telling him, I'm so glad you're safe. That's really all that matters. But dearie, just keep an eye on your drinks when you're somewhere unfamiliar.
You're so right, Grandma. I didn't think anything of it. I mean, like, we get stuff from Harris all the time. I mean, he's got some really good stuff. I mean, like, oh, that fried dough. Oh, so, all right.
I think we got more out of the prince than just the antidote and the promise. I think we meet at a refurbished village hall. We have a private room just for us. We also have a training building for the young people, maybe smooth things over between the generations. Give everyone a happy ending, except for the prince.
I think
Yeah,
in this
nice,
case too
nice.
that I think Quentin, just to kind of like circle back to that at least, I think Quentin had gotten an apprenticeship still, but not with Castian. Castian referred him over to you.
Oh. Okay.
So
Yeah, I was gonna say we could see us like teaching the youngsters. So like Matilda's instructing Tyrone and stuff, and everyone's wearing poorly knitted jumpers. So there's like, I don't know, like Hilda has the town flag logo on it, and like what else? Like I don't know what Dulce should have. It's just like a pie or something. I don't know. And Adela has like Spotsy like on there, but it's all barely recognizable. It's so terribly knitted.
oh,
just
that
like-
is so cute. Oh my gosh. And Dulce?
I think as the others are taking on their new apprentices, she makes a very big point to intermittently show up at each of their little trainings and add her own 2 bits of knowledge, usually by surprise attacking the apprentices, but occasionally she like comes out normally and talks.
I like it. I like it. Maybe you teach Tyrone not to lead with his shoulders all the time.
It's so gosh.
And that ends our session of Raging Grannies. Oh my goodness. Didn't let to get you rage like too much, but I think if we were going to extend this as an adventure, it's like I would love to see them in the Megadungeon. Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, we'll break out Barrow Maze or something, and we'll...
Oh my gosh. So this was a lot of fun to run for you guys. I mean, like let's do stars and wishes. And then again, stars for the characters, because I mean like everybody had their own spin on how they interpreted their relationships, the stats, using or bringing in, like not even necessarily the fighting style, but also the the hidden talents and kind of like, pulling on those as well. So that was awesome. And I think, hold on, let me see. Yeah, I think I kept on forgetting to remind you guys that the fighting style or hidden talent applies. So if you had that, you could have added a +1 to your roll. So that was my fault because I forgot it the last time that I ran this game as well. So, if you get this run by anybody else or you run it yourself, just remember that, please. And you can get Raging Grannies at the link that I had sent in the original email. But I mean, again, this was a lot of fun to run, and I mean, I hope that you guys got kind of what you wanted out of the adventure, because again, stars for like running with the narrations, running with the situations that had happened, and then just having like a lot of great stuff. The world building itself was amazing. You guys like just pitched in all these little details that I could just pull on and then just try to use for forming the adventure, and that's what I really love, the collaborative nature of the narrative. So that was awesome. And if I had a wish, it's like if we were going to do this as as a continued adventure, I want to see them in the Megadungeon. I want to see them adventure out into the frontier lands, and I want to see them see about thwarting like the Dastardly Prince's possible schemes, because this guy's such a yutz. So yeah, all right.
Yeah, I wanted to throw in a star for just we sort of like pulled on everything. We had so many ideas that went into the village and everything. I loved everybody's contributions, and Mads just did a great job of sort of like bringing it all to the table in play. So it was really fun to see. I wasn't sure whether everything that we did in that that hour of initial prep was gonna get into the story, and it really did in a great way.
Yeah, definitely. It was really fun. I think everyone did a great job. I agree. Mads did a great job of incorporating all the crazy ideas into the story and everything. So that was really good. But we all did a great job of that as well, I think. I really I give a star to Kass for the flag scene thing. That was awesome. I really liked that. So that was kind of my fave. I think I give a star to Rod for keeping us on track with the investigation, because I think I was kind of off mucking around fighting with people to prove my knightliness, whilst Rod's like, okay, I'm going to actually find out what's going on here and solve the problem. and Dulce, not Dulce, Kavya, I liked it when you were asked who the person was in the hoodie. It just instantly, it's like, it's Damien, that bastard. It screwed me over. I really loved that. It was so quick. I don't know if you know someone called Damien you don't like, but it was just like. So yeah, I think that's it for me. Yeah, had a really good time.
I do not know anyone named Damien. It just felt right in the moment. I was channeling Dulce. Star for, yeah, I thought the world building stuff would be relevant. I did not expect the gossip to come back and be relevant, and I love that you made it so, Mads. I loved how everyone's characters were so distinctive from the get-go. Like, we have Matilda's uptightness, we have Hilda being an absolute sweetheart, we have Adela sneaking around, and I'm not sure if she does it on purpose or not. I'm still not sure, but it happens. The roleplay was, well, exactly as good as I'd expect from this entourage. I have played with Mads semi-regularly. I played with Gareth on earlier this week, but it was great playing with you, Kass and Rod, for the first time.
Same, thank you very much. Yeah, agree, echo the sentiment, Mads, of bringing in so many elements and weaving them together and making it feel cohesive is a feat. I played this at least the initial scenario of the children growing older in the last adventure, but this is completely different. You took it in a completely different way because you know we the characters are different and our details are different. Stars to everyone. The flag scene was also on my list of things that I noted. That was an awesome moment. I love the hat. Give a shout out to the hat and everything. Kass that helped set the mood. If I had something myself, I would have done so as well. I love the fight with Matilda. So stars to that, Gareth. It was kind of almost like a bullfight where you're tiring the bull. So that was cool. I'm glad you rolled high. Would have been funny if Tyrone got the better of you. But I love the dangerous pies, the dangerous but delicious pies, and Kavya, how you came up with the whole manticore idea at the end, rather than having us fight it. You know, hey, wasn't that one of yours, Adela? That was pretty awesome. So I would love to see them in a Megadungeon, whether it's at the next Open Gaming weekend, or if you want to throw another one shot or two shot, that would be fun. I'd be on board for that.
I am going to I'm going to throw in my Discord server invite to you, Kass. I mean, out of everybody, it's like you're the new one to my group that knows me. So if we do this again, or at least if you want to bring back these characters, we can see. And we're probably going to pull what Gareth and I had done with David MK in the Gauntlet, which is try to do a companion game instead. So you run it with one game and then you continue on the characters in another game, because we found that is so such an amazing concept. It's like, oh my god, let's try this, because I've done it with Heroes of the Hearth and then bringing it into Venture, and then we did it with David MK ended up doing it with For the Queen, starting us with For the Queen, and then moving us into a hack of drama system. I'm sorry, like whatever we did, Gareth, like with David MK, our round robining of all that kind of stuff was a hack of drama system. It was not straight drama system because we don't like playing adversarially. I don't care. So, bleh. Anyway, let me throw the Discord server invite in there. So, Kass, like whenever you want to, like, you know, accept. You don't have to, but we're a bunch of weirdos in my server, so you may want to. And yeah, so I mean, I am glad that you guys enjoyed yourselves. I mean, that's the most important thing to me. I mean, like, regardless of, you know, what I GM or how I GM, it's like I want to make sure that everybody's at least having a good time, and I hope you felt the pacing was good and that the spotlight management was okay, especially because I very seldom do up to a full 4 players. Even my between campaign, which is running right now, we just seem to keep missing people. It's like I think I had all 4 of them twice, and we're going on our 7th session this coming Friday. So I'm like, where are you guys? So anyway, this is great. And again, I mean, if like, you know, if I do decide to run something different and you want to continue these characters, just let me know. It's like, we'll hopefully find scheduling. We'll hopefully find a mutual time that we can do this. And it's like, I'll be interested to see like what system I'm going to use to continue guys on. Maybe we'll do a hack of Brindlewood Bay in the fantasy world. Ooh.
I've never played
The
Brindlewood Bay,
Megadungeon.
so
Ooh. Oh
yeah.
dear. Kavya, like wheels are turning. Damn it. Okay, we'll see how this looks. I don't know yet. I mean, like maybe a continuation of Raging Grannies, but in the Megadungeon. Oh Lord. Okay. Fabulous. All right. So if you guys are continuing on gaming with the rest of this weekend, like, you know, for an afternoon game, it's like, you know, have fun. And I hope that, you know, we meet again real soon for a bunch more gaming. God, help us. Schedules. All right. So thanks, guys.
If you want
Yes.
the consent for posting the recording,
Yes.
I'll just say now, you know, I'm fine with it.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Go
I
for it.
also put it on top of the character
Right.
keeper, like on top of the
Right.
characters. So
Yeah.
yes, that'll be great. And then we're good to go. And again, editing team of 1. So we'll see when this happens. I mean, it might be all out of order. Who knows? It'll be great.
No rush.
So thank you guys, and then I will see you soon, hopefully. Okay.
See everybody.
Alright.
Thanks for playing.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for
Thanks.
playing. Absolutely.